Hey everyone, Jordan here. Today we're going to be looking at this monstrous motherboard. This is the MSI MEG Z890 Godlike. We did look at the Z790 Godlike when it came up for the 13th gen. This is the latest and greatest. There is also an AM5 version as well, which hopefully we'll get to see at some point. This is going to be the flagship motherboard for MSI, currently retailing at £1,199. So certainly not cheap, but if you need something that can do a ton of NVMEs, I/O, all that kind of shebang, then this is certainly a board to consider. We have first got this big old outer sleeve, comes off, and there's also a load of specs on the back that you can just see if you want to pause quickly. Of course, I'll run you through them as we go, and then this opens up and also tilts as well to first display the motherboard. I'm going to put this to the side though, because we have got a lot of things to look at underneath. So underneath we have got an accessory box. Let's have a look at what we've got in there first. Now, worth mentioning, I will be doing a full build with this board as well, so get subscribed to Indian the Most, don't miss that. That's where I can cover some of the little intricate details. If you want to know what this cable does, for example, we can cover that more in that one. So here it looks like we've got a little extension cable that may be the Thunderbolt connector actually. We've also got the easy connector, so this has a single connector on the motherboard that then goes to a 3-pin RGB. There's also a 4-pin fan header, and also the front panel, so that obviously gives you extra additional connectors, but also saves a lot of cable mess. There's a standard 3-pin addressable RGB to one of the kind of Fantex connectors. It has a specific name, I can't remember. I'm sure somebody will comment down below. We've also got a couple of SATA cables. We've got another adapter cable. So this is one 3-pin RGB, 2, and then an additional 3. So if you want to add a load of RGB stuff, you've got one of those. We've got a standard 12-volt RGB cable, 2, an additional 2. So if you want to expand out with that one, with the traditional style. A couple of probes, thermal probes, there's 2 of those there. We've also got an extension for the front panel connector, and then I've also got 2 more SATA cables. So loads of accessories. I'm not even halfway through the accessories yet either. The Wi-Fi antenna in this box, big base, magnetic. It also has the quick connectors on the end as well. I've also got a little fan controller in the box. This solves one of our questions. So there's the bridging cable that will go onto the motherboard, I presume. And then we've also got that Type 5 kind of size cable at the back for the SATA power. That's got some standard 4-pin addressable and also some 3-pin RGB on each side. Our first of the 2 expansion cards that are included in the box, we've got the Thunderbolt one. So this will take the display ports from a graphics card into this card and then output them to Thunderbolt in the USB-C format. So if you've got a couple of monitors that you want to daisy chain together, you can do that off of one cable. I believe that these can do a maximum resolution of 4K at 120 Hz or maybe 8K at 60 Hz, something along those lines. So pretty capable little card there. And then our second one that's included is a much bigger Gen 5 NVMe storage slot. Little fan on the back there. And then at the end, we have got 2 quick release Gen 5 storage sleds. Really cool. Again, up to 110mm in length there. And I'd like the fact that you can just easily take those out. On the end of that, we have got a PCIe 6-pin powering it. We've also found our other mystery connector, so that's the small connector to the 4-pin 4PD, remember the fan control presumably. There's also a dip switch if you want to turn that fan off. Maybe if you're using slower drives, you may not need to use that, but it's always handy to have a bit more airflow. It looks like we've actually still got more to go underneath this little part here as well. Presumably these are, okay, all the M.2 screws and things like that as well. Spare thermal pad, I always like to see those. There's 2 of those. Also got the connector to remove the M.2. Then we've also got some stickers, the MSI shout out, and then just a bit of documentation. But yes, lots in the box as you can see. And now we can finally get on to looking at the board. Oh, this is so heavy. One of the heaviest boards that I've looked at. Just actually show you the back. You'll see why. Got a big old beefy piece of armor covering the whole thing there. And then also we have got a really beefy VRM. You can see the heatsink runs the length of the top of that there, to then call our MOSFETs and capacitors and things like that. Big old heatsink over the left-hand side too. Also looks like we're going to have some illumination coming through. Bit of pill action here as well. For that mirror-like finish. But let's get zoomed in and have a look around the board itself. So our 8 pins are going to be on the right-hand side. No physical room for them on the left-hand side of this one. Now you've got 2 8-pin connectors. These have solid pins as well. Here's going to be our display. This is going to be the Dynamic Dashboard 3, which is a 3.9-inch full color LCD, which gives you like real-time monitoring for your hardware. You can set loads of different things with it as well. There is a pill on that at the moment. Very shiny underneath, but I will keep that on there for now. Now we'll use this in the build, but I could put a couple of images on the screen so you can see what it looks like lit up. We've also got some buttons on the bottom of there. So we've got a power and reset for the motherboard itself. Really like to have those, especially when you're testing stuff. And there's also the quick GPU release button there as well that acts for the graphics card slot further down. So all of our connectors for this board are on the right angle this time. So we'll run you through those. We first got our 3-pin addressable RGB. There's 2 4-pin PWM, so CPU fan and a pump system fan. 24-pin for power. We've also got an 8-pin which will power the USB Type-C port to the side, which also gives you 60-watt charging. So if you want to charge your laptop or something off that port, you can do so with the additional 8-pin. There's also a Type-C connector. Not quite sure why that's there. Maybe if you want to use an internal screen, that's just an easier way to do it. I've seen some motherboards do offer that power for this generation, so that could be it. Any other ideas that you have, then do let me know. Also got a second 4-pin for a pump as well. And then above that, we've got a USB 2 header. There's also the easy connector, so that breaks off to the 4-pin fan, 3-pin RGB, and also the front panel connectors. You connect that onto there. There's a tuning controller port, and then we've also got the thermal probe ports, the bridge to the RGB hub and controller that I showed you earlier. We've also got our front panel connectors on there as well. So repositioning the board, further down we've got 2 USB Type A headers, 5 gigabits per second. We've also got another 8-pin, this is going to be for the lanes as well, so if you do some heavy overclocking on your graphics card, you can plug that in for some additional lane power. We've then got 4 SATA 6 gigabit ports. Then at the very bottom we've got a USB 2 header, and then we've also got our front panel audio. This board supports a Realtek ALC 4082 codec, a little bit higher than what we generally see, but I really do recommend the sound card into your audio, especially as then you can move it between systems. So just going back up to the socket in that VRM, we have got a duet rail power system again on this. Most boards you might see 16 plus 2 plus 1 on some higher end ones, or 18 maybe. This one, 26 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. Yeah, a bit crazy, yeah, certainly. So ready for the high-end Core Ultra Series processors, or LGA 1851. And for those of you that like to know about the layers of the board, 10. Yeah, so not your standard 6 or 8. They've gone above even in this board as well. So now looking at our DIMM slots on the right-hand side, we have got a maximum support of 256 gigabytes of DDR5 up to 9200 megatransfers per second. And you could, of course, use the QDIMMs as well that are supported with Intel's new Ultra Series 2. Going down to our expansion slots, our first one we have got a quick release. There's a little bit of plastic on that, but I'll leave that for now. That's going to be a Gen 5. There is also some push pins as well, so we'll have some illumination coming through on the other side. On up to an 80mm Gen 5 drive there. Don't forget to remove the thermal pad protection on each side. And further down, we've got another big old heatsink, then another 4 NVMe slots there. All of these are going to be Gen 4. And if we go a bit further down, we have got another cover, which reveals another 80mm drive. That bottom slot can do Gen 5 speeds. You have to set that in the BIOS, but you have got a load of options there. Up to 6 on the board, and obviously you've got the expander as well, so up to 8 NVMe's with this board. So in terms of our PCI slots, that top one will be Gen 5. Don't forget we have got the easy release on there as well. Then we've got another Gen 5 below that will run at 8X. Then there is also an X4 that will run at X4 from the chipset as well. Perfectly good enough if you want to use a sound card or maybe a capture card. So finally onto the rear I/O. MSI have just gone yes to what should we add for the rear I/O. We have got 8 USB-C ports, these that were 10 gigabits per second. We then have got a total of 7 USB Type-C. One of those is 20 gigabits. We've then got 3, 4, 5, 10 gig. We've also got a faster charging one at the top there as well. We then have got a 10 gig LAN, also a 5 gig LAN, our Wi-Fi antenna points, some simple audio at the bottom, and then we've also got a flash BIOS, clear CMOS, and smart button. That was one that you can program to whatever you fancy. So an absolutely incredible motherboard there from MSI. Literally answers yes to what you want to include. Absolutely everything is on there. I did think originally there wasn't many fan headers, but I remembered that they include a hub in the box. So literally covers every eventuality that you could possibly need on a motherboard, especially with the extra expansion for NVMe's and things as well. So yeah, 2 Gen 5 PCI slots with literally everything you could possibly ask for. Now the kind of sticking point with these boards, obviously they're very expensive, and because of the price tag they generally don't sell obviously quite as many as the cheaper boards, which makes sense, but then that means that the board updates do come a little bit more sporadically because they don't prioritize these ones. They just prioritize the ones that sell the most. So that is a little bit of a pros and cons that you do get with these high-end boards, but if you need something that can do this amount of I/O, then obviously you've kind of got to go for it. Now in terms of the build I'm going to do with this board, I'm just going to say Supreme, and you can kind of guess where the rest is going to go. It's very rare that I get 2 high-end parts that kind of turn up at the same time, so I'm going to use that while it's on loan for me to get the build done with those parts. Should be pretty crazy high end, so get subscribed and ding the bell so you don't miss that. We'll leave the links for this in the description box below if you are bored enough to need one of these. and want to pick one up, big thanks to MSI for sending it out for me to look at. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.